Welcome to this episode of Adam Answers. This time around, I'm going to answer a question from Mark Cadman, who sent me an email with a question. And Mark's question says this: I am a child and young person therapist from Essex in England. I work with young people aged 11 to 24 at my local youth center. Due to school holidays and sickness, clients regularly miss a couple of sessions. We work together for 2 to 3 sessions, and then we commonly have a 2-week absence. So with this absence, should I carry on with what is better or revisit the best hopes at the first session post the absence? So Mark is getting at a really important component, and it is obviously in follow-up sessions, and in this case, particularly when there's breaks in between, do we carry on the conversation that we've previously been having, or do we begin a new conversation? In essence, what I would say is it's also getting at the philosophy of what do we do during a follow-up session. And the philosophy is we are looking for opportunities to have conversations about change. When clients come in for the first session, in essence, what they're telling us is, I want something to be different. I want some change to occur. And so we have that first conversation about change. When clients come back, what we're doing with that beginning question of what's been better, and oftentimes I shift that question a little bit and I ask things like, what's been new or what's been different since I saw you last? And the reason that we ask those kinds of questions is twofold. One, we want to introduce from the very beginning the opportunity to have problem-free talk. And by asking what's been new, what's been different, what's been better, in essence, we're helping the client to steer away from problem talk and move into desired outcome talk. So that's one part of the philosophy. The other part of the philosophy, especially in follow-up sessions, is that we've already asked, what are your best hopes from this process? It would be a bit weird to begin the next session by saying, so what are your best hopes from this process? So in essence, what we're really getting at is, here's another way we can talk about change. What's been new, what's been different, what's been better since I saw you last? So with the understanding of the philosophy around we're just trying to have a conversation about difference, what difference the client is hoping for, when even if there's been an absence of 2 weeks or 3 weeks or even longer, when we start with what's been different or what's been better since I saw you last, then the client gets to have a choice. They can either go back to what we talked about previously and they can say, well, this and this and this happened and that was related to what we talked about, or they can leave it entirely and they can say, well, new developments or new things have come up which I wasn't anticipating before. Those new developments might change what the desired outcome is, but we don't know that. We don't know if they want to carry on the conversation or if they want to shift the conversation until they tell us the answer to what's been better or what's been different since I saw you. Therefore, when we start in this really generic way and we listen really carefully to the client, we have then some options. If the client just continues what they answered from the previous session, we know we can just continue to build on the information that we asked. If they give us something new, what we can do then is we can then shift and say, so given the new developments, given what's been going on for you since I saw you last, what are your best hopes from this process now? That gives us the flexibility to re-ask the best hopes if we need to, but not necessarily have to ask it every single time. The final thing that I would say about this is that keeping these options open shifts the responsibility from the client to us. In that sense, we are the ones who are still in charge of the process of the therapy session, and they get to answer in whatever way they want to or whatever way feels comfortable for them. So it shifts the responsibility to us to listen to the answer and to then come up with a question that's useful for them. So I think I would say just carry on despite the absence and ask what's been new, what's been different, because that then opens as much flexibility and possibility as possible, and then we can do what we need to do in order to maintain the client's autonomy throughout. So I hope that's helpful. If you have other questions that you want me to answer, please make sure you can send them to me by email like Mark did, or you can just post them on Facebook or Instagram and we'll get them there too. But thanks.